First Port St. Lucie Business Club live stream. Today, we're kicking things off with business coach Benjamin John, a master of market domination. Before I get to the intro, Ben, I wanted to just give you a quick overview of what this whole series is. So if you're familiar with Port St. Lucie Business Club, we are a group of business professionals who are based in the Treasure Coast in Port St. Lucie and the surrounding areas, but everyone is welcome. And our philosophy is we want to help empower small businesses. We want to give you the tools and the resources and help you build better businesses. We also want to connect you with the right people. And an important part of our mission is to continually provide education and training. So this is the first way that we're doing this. This is the first thing that we're doing in the education realm, because we've had a Facebook group now for about 3 months. We have about 1,300 members. And we've had an in-person networking event where we had some fantastic connections here in Port St. Lucie with about 55 people showing up for our first event. But this is our first live stream. And if this is successful, we want your feedback. And I know it's going to be successful, but we also want to know what topics you want to see covered in the future, because hopefully we'll do this at least once per month. And so when I was putting this together, I knew there was only one person who I could call on to be the very first guest for this live stream. And he is Benjamin John of Benjamin John Massive Impact Coaching. And Benjamin is he's so talented in so many different ways. He's a figure of authenticity and dedication. And he's going to share with you some very concrete strategies to help you build top of mind awareness and be that dominating force in your industry. He's renowned for building genuine relationships and valuing long-term success over immediate returns. And Ben's approach to business and personal growth, I would say, is both unique and inspiring. When he first reached out to me, when we were first launching Port St. Lucie Business Club, I connected with him, I got on a call with him, and I knew right away that he was going to be able to help our group and our community. And I'm so glad to be able to introduce everyone to Benjamin John. So Ben, thank you for joining us. How's everything going?
I'm fantastic, man. I think every time you ask me that, I'm always doing very well, and I appreciate the intro, man. And yeah, of course it's going to be great, man. And I really appreciate the compliments and the acknowledgement as far as my authenticity to my authentic approach to business, more specifically, because I think it's important, and I'm really glad that you thought of me for the first person to do this, because a lot of the stuff that I talk about is very different
It
from
is.
what people
Yeah.
are used to being taught in sales and business and entrepreneurialism. And yeah, I'm here to change the industry and start teaching people to actually care about their customers the right way and really make a massive impact, not only in your business, but it's going to extend into your entire life.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't you start just by letting our audience know a little bit more about you and your background? You have a fantastic background. You wrote a book. I encourage everyone to read it. Just give everyone a glimpse of where you're coming from and set the stage for this topic of how to be top of mind in your industry.
Yeah, so if I was to kind of set the tempo here and future pace everybody for what I'm trying to talk about and kind of the approach I'm going with, basically what I'm trying to do is show people that you don't need to think about the money so much. You really need to think about the customer more than anything. There's certain things you can do once you actually put yourself in that mindset and you're like, okay, I don't care about the money. It's about making an impact. It's about actually providing a solution to these customers. And it's not about pressing them for the sale. It's about genuinely giving them all the information that they need, and answering all the questions. More importantly, giving them a remarkable experience that they'll never forget. And it's going to easily separate you from the entire industry.
Yeah. And it's almost surprising how unique that approach is, because when we first try to get any type of business advice, we hear the same things over and over. You need to sell, sell, sell. You need to, don't let the customer leave without buying. You need to continually follow up and use automation and all this stuff. And as a marketer, I'm guilty of doing a lot of that stuff over the years. But I guess, yeah, I don't want to lead the conversation too much, because I know you have some structure here of what you want to talk about. But I guess maybe can you walk us through how you came to this realization that your approach is the approach that needs to be taught?
Yeah, so there's a lot of there's layers to this, but if I was to give you and others, the Reader's Digest version of this, I've been in sales for years. I was in it for a couple years when I was 18, 19, 22 again. And then now I've been in it for 7 or 8 years. I got my own construction company in a different state that I've had for 6 years. I've had this coaching company for over 2 years, going on 3, and I'm actually turning this one into 5 different businesses now. Wow. So I've actually had a lot of traction and results. I wouldn't say success. I don't use that word because success is kind of something that's overrated and glorified and is different and specific to each individual.
True.
But I've got some really good results, and more importantly, they're results that actually make an impact in a way that you care about people. And what I would say is one of my revelations I've had recently is I was involved with a big billionaire as a partner. I won't say his name, but it rhymes with Grant Smardone. And he basically was teaching things that was, push, sell, money, follow up, and do it with aggression. And even me as a business partner with him, it was just terrible. I would pay $40,000, go to a 2-day event, and then they would be selling me hard at the event. I couldn't even enjoy it. So I realized through the experience and what I was taught and doing to people, it's not right, guys. And I ignored my conscience, and through that entire experience and voluntarily leaving that organization, I found out what it actually means to care about people and to really approach your business and introduce it and present it to people the right way.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, so I know you have some things you want to cover. I don't want to, direct it the conversation too much. So yeah, let us know what is the essence of the message of how to be top of mind awareness, how to build top of mind awareness, and then as some questions come up naturally, I can jump in there. And then of course, anyone who's on the live stream, Desiree, I see Desiree joined. That's awesome. Anyone who has questions, yeah, you can always ask your questions, and we'll put those questions out there for Ben to answer. But yeah, take it away.
Yeah, hit me up with any questions, Desiree, or anybody else watching. I'd be happy to really engage with you. So I'm just I know we got a short a bit of time here, so I'm just gonna get right at it and talk about the bullet points I literally just scribbled down.
Fantastic.
I don't like to overthink this stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I don't even prepare for this.
That's what I love about you. I have to say, that's the coolest thing. I think that's a takeaway. Just to jump in here real quick. The thing that's so cool about your work style is you're not the planner who's like, everything's got to be planned out in advance. Yet it always seems to come together for you, which is a very unique skill that I think a lot of people would love to learn.
Yeah. Well, the trick is, I'll give you guys a little insight into why I'm able to do that. I speak from the heart. I literally let my authentic self pour right through me, and I do what's right, and I care for people. That's really it. It makes it very easy to operate my entire life that way. So what I'm going to talk about is, I'm not talking to, the things I'm going to talk about is not about money. It's not going to be about making money. It's not going to be about chasing money. It's going to be more about making an impact more than anything. The money will come. You start treating people right, the money will just come to you. And at that point, you're not going to even want it. You're just going to be grateful for it. And you're going to see a result in your business as a result of that. And not only that, you're going to get referrals. All these things are going to benefit you in all these different ways. But top of mind basically means being known for an unbelievable experience. One of the key things that was great for me and my construction company is that I left an unbelievable experience. I would donate time and, a couple hours, few hours. And of course, when I did this early on, I didn't care about the customers as I should have. I was chasing money. And so I donated time and it didn't result in anything. Now I care and I donate time, and the customers can feel that. When you're talking to somebody who's a prospect, they can feel if you just want something from them, if you're just chasing an outcome, if you're just chasing money, or they can tell if you actually care about them and you're not really invested in chasing that in them. They generally can feel if you just want to help them, provide a solution, and not pressure them.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and by the way, it's never been easier. I mentioned this just a second ago. It has never been easier to separate yourself from in any industry right now. It's so easy. There's a lot of companies out there that, they don't even answer their phone, let alone provide a good experience. It's so easy to be remembered for that. Word gets around really quick. If you leave them with an unbelievable experience, and even if they never do business with you, that's okay. Because even that could turn into a referral. I've got plenty of people, but you can't expect that even, but it just is going to happen naturally. But I've gotten plenty of people who I've done quotes for, never did business with me, but then referred me to somebody because of the unbelievable experience I gave them.
Yeah, you gave value. Just like what Desiree just said in the comments, give value always. This is so important. And I think something that people are reluctant to do is give too much value for a number of reasons. From what I've heard, just and from my own personal experiences, it seems like people don't want to give value first because they either think if they give value away, then people are not going to buy from them. In some cases, like if I'm a a marketer and I give you an entire marketing strategy, why would you continue to work with me if I already gave you a lot for free? And the other reason is it just takes too much time if you're giving, giving, giving. And sometimes I even wonder how you have the time to do all of this stuff and to give all this free consulting and free advice, and you're connecting with people and sending them videos. What do you have to say about those 2 points?
You made a really good point. So I understand there's a lot of people that might not believe me when I say this, but I truly care about people more than myself. And I understand that a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, right, dude. Come on now. You definitely don't. I swear to you, it's true. Now, a lot of people I also realize might not be able to bring themselves to that point. I get it. And I understand that, but you have to at least get that percentage higher, whatever that is, 60, 80% caring about them more than yourself. But if you are caring about yourself and wanting a certain outcome or money or certain things to happen, you're just not going to get it. All you entrepreneurs might have noticed, the more you chase something, the further it runs from you.
Yeah.
Right? It's true. It's happening. You know it's happening. It might be happening to you right now. There's a reason for that. As soon as you let that go and stop chasing it, it will come to you. As long as you just focus on the experience and giving that to people. Now, you mentioned something, Nick, about providing free value up front. I do this in my business. There's 2 things in all my businesses that I focus on. I want friendships and I want to provide free service. Like, and I'm not talking about cheesy, an ebook, like something cheesy like that. I'm talking about massive value, whether it's donating time. I'll even spend some of my own money to, in some regard to do that. Excuse me. So I think it's actually important. And what I'll suggest to somebody, especially someone new, if you're new in entrepreneurialism, you just started a business, what I would suggest to you is, come up with a number in your head, 3 people, 5 people, do something for free for them, massively valuable, massively impactful, solve their problem, whatever your service is. Think of one of the most things that would sound terrible for you to give for free because it costs you time, money, and energy, and do it. And don't expect anything in return. Do it, leave them alone, and I promise you, it will come back to you in some form, but you just can't do it to want it. Literally do it, leave them alone, let them know you'll be here if they ever become interested in your services.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I really hope somebody tries that. I got a couple of people who've taken me up on that and are trying it right now in other businesses that I know. And I just can't wait to see the results because it's worked for me, and I can't wait to see the impact it's going to make. But getting on to the next topics here, going into pushing the sale, we talked about that a little bit. You do not need to push the sale. The harder you push, the further they're gonna go. It is just not the way to do it. Your job is this: a great experience. Give them all the information they need, answer all of their questions, and leave them alone and say the same thing I just said a second ago. Guys, look, if you ever become interested, we'll be here waiting for you. And if you ever need more information or have any questions in the meantime, reach out to me. I'll always be here for you. That's it. You should never have to push the sale. Trust me, they know when they want it. They don't need, this is a misconception I was taught, that customers need help making a decision.
Yeah.
They don't. They just need the information and the questions answered. That's helping them. They do not need you to help them make a decision. I used to do this in sales because I was.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I was taught the wrong thing, man.
Right.
And when I shifted, I did something crazy. I know you'll never see anybody doing this. This is kind of a side tangent, but I put out a post saying, guys, if I ever made you buy something that you didn't want, or it felt like I pushed something on you, I'm sorry, first of all. Secondly, I'm going to give you a refund. Please reach out to me. I'm going to give you thousands of dollars in refunds right now. because that is not what feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Forcing somebody is not the way to do business, guys. They will come to you when they're ready. They don't need help making that decision. You give them the info, answer their questions, give them a good experience.
Yeah, that's a tough one though, because we have so many sales trainers out there. I can think of so many that are blowing up on Instagram and YouTube right now that are all about push, push, push. Don't let them leave. Why do you think that is? Like, why is that the de facto method of selling, where it has to be in your face? You have to buy right now.
This is a whole separate
Yeah.
podcast or live stream, but the reason why that's being taught is it's all fear-based. You do not want to operate your business the way that the government operates life. It's all fear. Anything that's fear-based is not going to reciprocate in good energy in your business. I promise you. Now, the guys that are teaching all this stuff are preying on people who already have fear, doubt, and uncertainty. So it's easy for them to get sucked into that and then do the same thing to their customers. Now, the reason they're doing this is, again, if you want to know more about what I'm doing, I'm calling out all these people in a professional, authentic way on my Instagram quite a bit. So you can always check that out. But they are teaching this because they're preying on people who have that fear, and it brings those people that want to learn that to them. So they're constantly chasing them for success, and they're being taught the wrong things.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to your Instagram profile, Instagram.com/Benjamin John MIC for Massive Impact Coaching. We'll put that link in the comments section below. But yeah, you have some awesome content that you're sharing. A lot of, I would say, all video content, right? And I guess bringing it back to our topic here, out of everyone that I follow, not just in Port St. Lucie, but just everyone in the business space, you put out probably more video content than 90% of them. How does that relate back to being top of mind in your industry?
I'm so glad you said that, because I put the most scribbled down notes on this right now before we were hopping into this. So let's talk about content, guys. You need to get your face known, first of all. This is how I built my construction business. They knew everything about me. I was always doing live videos, getting my phone. Well, it's attached to that right now, but grabbing my phone. I'd have my daughter with me, doing a walkthrough. I was so in your face in a good way that when they finally wanted to do business with me, they would reach out to me, and they felt like they knew me, like I was on a TV show, like, wow, you cut your hair. Oh my God, your daughter's so old now. Like I feel like I know you. You need to get on camera and don't overthink it. This is what people are teaching. And the reason why, to answer your question, I'm able to pump out so much content like that, edit it, chop it, not even chop it. I'll explain what I mean by chopping it. I only cut it in 2 because it's a 1.5-minute video that needs to be into 2 to go on a story. Right. So I do that with a one-take video. Do not chop your videos, guys. This is something that's people are teaching. Again, people are going to be like, what? You do not want to come off polished. You do not want to create a character. You do not want your video to be perfect. It has to be a one-take video of you talking from the heart. That's why I'm able to pump out so much content. I do not think about it. I pull out my phone. The message comes right through me. In the moment, I'm like, God, that's a great post. I got to do this right now. And just bam, I just do it. Then I take the time. Like, I have a easy program that's set up. It puts the captions on there. I post it, and then I cut it in 2 and I post it to my stories. I've probably posted sometimes 8 to 10 videos per day.
Yeah.
Just doing that.
And it works. It's I think people get stuck by over polishing and over editing, and maybe they'll post 2 videos a week for like a couple weeks, and then you never see anything else. I'm guilty of that as well, just because we want everything to be perfect with the videos. But you're able to consistently churn out this top of mind awareness, because every time I pull up Instagram, your videos are always there, because it's like you're just always putting out new content. So I think for anyone listening who's thinking of, hey, this is a very different approach to what I'm used to, just give it a try. What do you have to lose, right? You're just putting your authentic self out there. You're sharing valuable content, but you're doing so in a way that's higher velocity than what you may be used to, and maybe a little lower quality in terms of production quality, but it's probably higher quality in terms of content because it's really authentically you.
Yeah, and they want to get to know you. All right. So a lot of people are scared to I got to acknowledge the book
Yeah, I
Selling
see
with
that.
Dignity by Harry Spate. Great book. I'll have to check that out. I'm going to actually write that down. And
Yeah, thanks for sharing that in the comments. Yeah, feel free to keep the comments rolling. We will pull them up on screen as they come in.
What I was saying was, it's not, it's important to first, it's a couple of things. Let your customers know your values. It shouldn't always be about, hey guys, we do this, reach out to us. That's boring. Nobody wants that. They want to connect with the actual human being. They want to know your layers. I do a lot of posts where I'm like, for other companies, even where I'm telling them like, hey, we value this. It's mission over commission. Like we value the experience. If you even never, the thing I just said to you guys, like I'll even make a post about that saying, look, if you never do business with us, that's perfectly okay to us. We want to make sure you have a great experience with us above everything. You guys want to let people know what kind of person you are, how you're running your business, how you treat your employees, the things you value, what you're into. Maybe sometimes, I mean, you don't have to turn it into, a fishing content or for buying and your hobby guitar playing, like you say I play guitar. You don't have to do all that, but you do need to kind of peel back some layers so these people feel like you're a natural human being that is not trying to create a character so much and try to look so perfect. They don't want that. Trust me.
I agree. They
want to know that it's okay to have ums. I don't know how many times I've said because I don't care. I'm a human being. People they want to see that. They want to feel that, you're human and that you're not so focused on being perfect. And when you do start doing that, like Nick was saying, you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You get caught up, you paralyze yourself and you never do anything. Or when you do it, it comes out not that great because you're overthinking it. You're not being your real self.
And everybody's doing it. So yeah, it doesn't stand out.
Yeah. Good point. That goes back to what I said. It's never been easier to separate yourself in that aspect on the content as well. So it doesn't matter how much you post. It doesn't matter if you post a lot. I would rather one authentic video, someone speaking from their heart, one take, than 10 polished, fully edited, flashy, sci-fi graphic design edited posts like that. I would much prefer watching someone do a one-take video. And you might want to pay attention to that too. I'm going to give you guys a little side note. If you are getting advice from some of these sales gurus, how's it going, Deandra?
Hey, Deandra, welcome.
If you are getting advice from them, I want you to pay attention to them. Notice that they never do a one-take post. It's all chopped. It's all chopped. I'm going to let you guys know if a person can't do a minute and a half one-take video, that kind of tells me they're not very confident in themselves. They want to just look so good, and they don't think that they can do a one-take video without maybe, or they don't need to. It's just overthinking. So even the guys and gals that you're looking up to for sales advice and entrepreneur advice, pay attention to them. I want you to notice that they are definitely also with the trend. It's because they haven't separated themselves. They're not unique.
And you break this down in more detail on your Instagram profile, which I love. It can get pretty heated in there because you'll get into the comments and you'll go back and forth. But I think there's always an important lesson to learn when you do those types of videos. So I encourage everyone to check out your Instagram profile and follow you if they want to see examples of some of these gurus and what they're doing and why that approach doesn't work. Because I know we're talking about it, but it's so much easier to see it. So definitely, I put a link in the comment to follow you on Instagram to see some of those examples.
Yeah, if you guys are on Instagram, you definitely, again, like Nick said, it's really hard because I pull back the layers on everything I'm talking about. And you might have noticed, Nick, you can tell I speak from the heart because I don't talk about one topic. I'm into a lot of things: death metal music, veganism, business, parenting. There's a lot of things I am into, and even if it's not something I'm into, it's a thought I have. It comes right out of me, and I don't hold back. You might have noticed that it's like, wow, he's talking about a lot of things here. He's not really in one lane.
Which I wanted to ask you about that because, the topic here is how to be top of mind in your industry. Something that I've always been taught, and I know a lot of us have been taught, is you have to do one thing. You have to focus on one thing. You have to repeat one thing because people can only remember you for one thing. So I'm going to only remember, Ben as being the vegan or the guitarist or the business coach. But you also are going against that, that whole premise, and you're trying to do all these different things. You even said you're creating like 5 different businesses. So walk us through that approach and why that isn't going to backfire and sort of cloud people's mind with, like, when they're trying to figure out what exactly does Ben do and they're confused.
Yeah, well, so this is, when you're into self-development, things like that, motivating people, and that type of industry is a lot different than my construction business,
Mhm.
right? You're probably not going to get me talking about death metal, veganism on my construction company.
Yeah.
But I will be exposing other things to, like I introduced my daughter quite a bit. She was a main role, just getting on camera, walking on job sites with her. If you are in a very, if you're in that space where it's just kind of more self-development and business development, or not really business development, but like self-development, I guess is the best word for it. It is very important to actually express yourself even more and pull back those layers and show. The more you can show yourself and let people actually know you as a person, the better off you're going to be making that impact. The better off you're going to be being a friend with them. Because I told you all my businesses are operating with making a friendship first.
Right.
Literally, if you look at my landing page, I have 3 buttons on there that says create friendship. That's an example of one thing I'm doing differently, because that's what I want. And if you don't want to, there's an experience I had with a guy, and when he was talking to me, I told him, I was like, I feel like I don't know anything of, he's like, I'm talking too much. Maybe you should say something. And I was like, I don't know anything about you, even though you shared all that. And I was like, let me show you what I mean. And I kind of told him some stuff about me. I was like, you know what I mean? Now do you feel like you know me a little bit better? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm not here to make a friend. I'm here to help your business.
Yeah.
And that was a red flag to me. I want you guys to pay attention to that, because it sounds like it's helpful. It sounds like they're coming in the form of love. But if they don't want to make a friend, they don't want to be your friend or learn anything about you, that means they definitely don't have an interest in your business. It's not consistent. So it is important to share who you are as a person and make friendships in your business. It's absolutely imperative. Unless you're just chasing the money, which again, I'm not going to encourage that. If your focus is money, it's going to be really hard to scale. It's going to be really hard to make that impact that I'm suggesting to you guys. Yeah, exactly. Create friendship.
Yeah.
That's unique. I'm glad you picked up on that too.
Yeah, I see we have a question here, or not a question, but a statement that I think can turn into a question. And we're sorry if we don't acknowledge you by name. It's just because the tool that we're using to stream doesn't always show everyone's name, just comes in as Facebook user. But this statement says, I struggle with what to share as a bookkeeper. So this was something I wanted to ask you, because not everyone is, a business coach or a marketer or in the personal development space. Sometimes we work in, industries that on the surface, it seems difficult to create content around in a way where it's not going to be boring and it's going to appeal to people that might not be interested in that specific topic all the time, but they need your services. So what advice do you have for a bookkeeper who wants to stay top of mind in their industry?
Yeah, so if I was a bookkeeper, what I would do is definitely share some stories of how I got into bookkeeping. If it's nothing to do with bookkeeping, even better. You're like, hey, I was a carpenter for 12 years before I got into bookkeeping. You guys might not know this about me, but one thing I noticed when I was in bookkeeping, whatever, that's an example of like letting people get to know you a little bit better. Now I feel like I know you a little bit better. I know what your passion is, why you got into it, why you felt there was a calling for you to get into it. Share some stories of how you help, you noticed a family member or a friend that was struggling with bookkeeping, or, just a story, a real authentic story that comes from you without making it sound like a cool story, just literally speaking from the heart and sharing your experience is the most impactful way. And it doesn't always have to tie into your bookkeeping. You can literally talk about like, hey guys, this actually has nothing to do with bookkeeping, but I felt like I wanted to share a little bit about myself with you guys so you know me as a person, especially if you're going to do business with me. I want you guys to know me as a person, and know that there's actually layers to me other than being a bookkeeper, right? Have you ever heard anybody and a bookkeeper talking like that? Have you ever heard a
No,
bookkeeper?
you'd stand out instantly. Yeah.
100%. And that's a bookkeeper I would do business with.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, oh, wow, this person doesn't care what people thinks and wants people to know them better, and wants to share a bit of themselves. This is awesome. I want to know something about somebody I'm doing business with. I want to know something about my friends. Again, going back to the gurus you're following, you might notice you don't know anything about them. All you notice is that they have this polished version of themselves. They might work out, a couple fancy videos of them walking on the beach with their family. It's all made up stuff that their characters are creating, guys. You don't want to do that. Be your authentic self, share some stories. It doesn't always have to relate to your business and your niche all the time.
That's a good point. And now, in terms of where you share this was something else I wanted to ask you. You obviously share a lot of content on Instagram. This is a question I get asked all the time. Like, do I need to be everywhere? Do I need to be on? And I think that that's actually how this whole topic can be misinterpreted. When we say how to be top of mind in your industry, I actually had somebody ask me about this when I was first setting up this event. They said, "Oh, does that mean I need to be on every social media platform because I don't have time for that?" What would you say to them?
Well, I would not do what everybody is doing and suggesting. Again, very contradictory to what everybody's teaching right now. You're like, they're telling you to do what's working, do what other successful people are doing. You don't want to do that because now you're chasing somebody else for success and you're never going to get it. It's going to move further away from you, I promise you. Do what feels right. So for instance, I've been grinding and beating Instagram to death with posts. In a good way. And, I didn't have the thought in my mind, and the Facebook thing is what it is. For some reason, there's an error where it's only posting my stories, but not my actual posts. It's not sharing it for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't really gotten on a call with Facebook yet to figure it out because they're hard to get a hold of. You may have noticed unless you spend a lot of money, which I have. But even now, it's getting harder to get on the phone with them. But I don't worry about it. Now I've gotten to a point where someone suggested, hey, you should get on YouTube, especially because your messages are powerful and what you're doing is unlike anybody else. You got to get on Instagram or YouTube to get more awareness. And so I thought about it. At first I was just like, yes, it's not an interest to me. I don't think I need to. I'm doing whatever. It's easy right now. And it's calling me. I'm just kind of going with what feels right. Now it does feel right because I actually know somebody. Well, you guys might know him, Wayne from RPB Studios.
Oh yeah.
I just went in there yesterday, and I was talking to him because I was helping out another local company, and I told him that's on pause. In the meantime, I'd like to do a commercial for my this new company I'm transforming. He's like, well. He's like setting up the video, and he's like, well, we're going to do a video right now. I'm like, unless you're not ready. And I was like, well, I don't know what we're going to do the video for. I'm like, what do you suggest? And he's like, well, if you're not ready, then don't. And I was like, I'm always ready, Wayne. Like,
you're always ready. Yep.
Let's do it. And so long story short, we did the video. It's going to be an intro video to my YouTube page that I'm building out. And it felt right because that's what he specializes in. And that's a friendship I created with him. And I was like, okay, great. You can help me with this. Give me some advice. And so now it feels like it's right. I'm not forcing it. I'm not chasing it. It's going to be a very easy thing to do. Posting content is not hard for me, as you guys may have noticed. Nick, you noticed that, and most people have noticed that. So it's not going to be hard for me to. And by the way, just to give you context and how much time I spend on this.
Yeah.
I did this the other day. I posted a video after I did 8. I thought it was 8, but it was actually 10 posts, I think.
Wow.
Just one take videos in less than an hour. Edited. And then not only did I post it, but I cut every single one in 2 and posted it on my story and tagged and whatever. You do not always need to start hiring people out. You just need to get familiar with the very quick system. And what takes a lot of that time out of the equation is you just speaking from the heart and not overthinking it.
Right.
That's what takes the time. People are like, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't want it to look bad. It needs to be chopped and edited. I don't want them to hear my ums. I got to have this flashy logo coming up before and after. No, guys, at the very most, captions is all you should do. And that's just because some people don't even listen to videos with audio.
Right.
That's it. Just pump it
That's
out.
important. Yeah. But, and, you know, I think that it's so amazing that we're all living in this age of short form video, because I remember, you know, 10 years ago when I was trying to get into YouTube as a content creator, it was all long form, and you had to do the long form, you know, horizontal video, not the vertical video that we're talking about with Instagram. But now with YouTube, you go on there and they're surfacing the YouTube Shorts content, in some cases above the long form content. So just like with Instagram Reels and Instagram Stories, this is the perfect vehicle or the perfect tool for to do what you're talking about. Short form video does not need to be overly polished like long form video had to be back in the day. So you
Yeah.
might as well share it to Instagram Reels and Stories and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, and before I forget, I'm going to put myself out there. If anybody wants help for free, I'm not going to charge you. I'm authentically here to help you. If you want me to help, I do this for a lot of people. A one-take video, if you just want to bounce it off me and be like, hey, here's my one take, either a 1 minute or a minute and 29 seconds of you talking without chopping it and anything, just giving it to me and sending it to me. I'd be happy to take a peek at it, give you my feedback, let you know like, hey, that's great. Or like, hey, maybe try this.
That's awesome.
But it is it's a skill that can easily be achieved. It's not something that takes very long. You could probably get this. I'm not even kidding. You could probably have this drilled in your head in a week, maybe two, as far as being able to look at the camera, watch the timer, and kind of wrap it up as you're getting closer to a minute and a half. It is a skill, but you have to start. There are some times where my problem is I talk too much. I can't, I have to get it all out in a minute and a half. And I'm like, as I'm seeing it hit a minute 20, I'm like, all right, I got to wrap it up in my head, you know, because I can't say everything I want to.
You got to edit it in your head.
And then guess what? I'm like, I'll do another post after this. Post it and bam, I'll do another one. I do not overthink it. If I mean, sometimes I'll do 3 or 4 videos on one idea and one topic that I have, because I simply just can't get everything out of my soul that I want to share.
This is incredible. I can't believe we've already been talking for 37 minutes. I know we said we wanted to try to keep this around 30 minutes, but this has been incredible. Let's see if any other questions come in. If anyone watching live has a question, go ahead, put it in the chat. And while we do that, Ben, are there any other bullet points that we didn't cover, or any other notes about this topic that you want to get into?
Yeah, if I was to summarize this, no, we covered everything that I scratched down here right before we hopped on here. But I'm just going to remind everybody, it has never been easier to separate yourself from the average companies right now that actually just don't care. They'll claim they care, but you know it, I know it, they simply don't care. And so if you can bring yourself to genuinely caring about your customer, maybe, you know, way before thinking about yourself as much as possible. So to create short form videos, I'm going to answer this question for him. I think there's a ton of apps. If you're talking about putting captions, that's the only thing I use. On Instagram, I'll shoot a video and then I'll use my app that's Captions. I think it's called Captions.
So you're shooting the video on your phone recorder, not like an app that's specifically for video recording?
No, on my phone itself, and then I'll just open up the app for Captions. And after you do it so many times and you make the first one with the caption and the color that you want, when you go to post the next, when you go to create the next one, it'll automatically just put that on there as a default. So it'll just take the time out of the whole equation for you. I'll shoot the video, pull it up on Captions, edit or download it. It'll simply just go right to my phone with the captions. Now I'll go immediately to Instagram. This is key. I do not focus so much on the descriptive content. If you guys don't know what I mean by that, that's the
title and the description and
the title, description. Yeah. You know, like if you were a bookkeeper and you made a post about how you got into bookkeeping, you don't want to go into detail unless, you know, there are some of those. If you're going to pin it to the top of your Instagram, sure, you should have a longer one. But 9 times out of 10, when you're just doing this on the regular, you do not want to spend so much time just doing all that description. Just maybe a sentence or two saying, this is how I got into bookkeeping, or a quick story of me getting into bookkeeping. that's it. And get on to the next video or whatever else you got planned. But going back to what you said, Nick, if I'm going to wrap this up in some simple messages, stop focusing on the money, focus on the experience. All you need to do is give them a great experience, answer all the questions, give them all the information you need. Yeah. And then if you wanted to, the most follow-up you should ever do is to ask them on the spot, when would be a great time to follow up with you on this? I don't want to press you, no pressure. I'll never, press you on this, but just so I know, I can respect your time, make sure I'm not bothering you about this. And I'll reach out to you when you're telling me to, but never be pushy about it. And that's kind of, that's a
radical shift. It's a simple thing for people to do. It's something that I think we all need to give it at least a try. But it's definitely not conventional. So therefore, it's not something that's taught. I see we had a few questions here. So you're using the Captions app, correct?
Yep, you got it right. And no, I'm not using hashtags.
No hashtags. Any reason why?
They're not effective.
Okay. I would agree with that, actually. I think, yeah.
Yeah, they're just not effective, guys. Again, it's all stuff it's people just overthink and think they have to do all these things. What I would suggest is, maybe this is, add location. That'll help. If you can take the 2 seconds to add a location. Yep. I do this strategically. So there's certain individuals that I'm calling out with respect in these entrepreneurial spaces that are, in my opinion, treating people like garbage and teaching them the wrong things. I have found out where their headquarters is based. So when I make a post, I will target the headquarters that they're at.
Okay. And so for anyone not familiar with that, what you're referring to is just choosing a location. When you post that content, you can sort of assign a location or tag basically a location. And so you're choosing one that's close to or the building that that someone's in that you want to see that message.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to extend myself another time. If you are brand new to Instagram, or you just don't even have an Instagram and you want to start that and you want to get familiar with that, I'll help you with that too.
Interesting.
And again, for the people just joining, I'll help for free. So
yeah. And it looks like, and the best way to connect with you is on Instagram. We're going to put it in the comments again, your Instagram handle. But let's get to this question. How would you push multiple locations if you service multiple cities or counties?
You can only put one location on Instagram. The only place you can tag different locations is, I believe, I don't even know if you can do that on Facebook. That's more of a Google type thing, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. So yeah, when we're talking Instagram, it's just one location. You don't have
and to clarify, just by tagging the location, that's not doing a lot for the video. That's just a little sort of extra push. But you can still reach people anywhere if you want to. There's a number of different strategies that we could always cover on a future live stream about, like how to target people how to target certain niches and certain segments of your audience. But the location thing, we don't want people to overthink that and think that that's the only way people are going to see the videos if they're in that location.
Yeah, that's almost just as worthless as hashtags, to be honest. But it does give just a little bit of an extra reach, and it doesn't take. The only reason why I say do that is because, for me, I gave you an example of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to focus on the area of where the individual I'm talking about or the business I'm talking about is, so that it can kind of get exposure in that area a little bit more. But again, not a big deal to focus on too much. It's a very quick thing to do.
And as we wrap up, one other quick tip that I actually learned from you that I think a lot of people can benefit from. This is like a nugget of wisdom that is so easy to do, but it has made such a difference. And it's something that I actually started doing after I had seen you do it, is let's say you've already connected with someone and you're just communicating with them normally. I would have normally just sent emails or text-based, SMS messages. But what you do is you do video, where we're talking like if you're going to text someone, you'll send them a video, which is extremely rare these days for people to take the time to send someone a video in an SMS or on Facebook Messenger as a one-to-one communication channel. But I think that makes such a difference. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That is definitely one way you can separate yourself just in life. Yeah, even in making friends, like shooting the video. I do that on the regular. I do not. I almost never like texting. Yeah, it's really quick or I have to. And I've gone deep on this. If you guys want to get a kick. I made an example of people were saying, oh, I'm too busy. Look, I'm running 7 businesses, single parent for the last 7 years. I'm doing a lot, homeschooling. And I care about people so much, I'll send them a video while I'm on the toilet. I know you guys think I'm joking, and some people will be like, ew, don't do that. Look, if that's the only time I got, you're getting a video, right? That should actually be a respect thing. But I always shoot a video. I always give a video, make that personal connection to somebody. It just is more of a way to, it just impacts people, and it shows that you actually care about people, going back to the caring about people. I want to answer this guy's questions.
Yeah.
No, I don't plan the content at the since I have so many thoughts and ideas and messages coming to me all day. Sometimes if I've already done the 8 videos, I'm like, I got more coming and I can't spend all day on this. I don't want to spend 2 hours on this all day. I'll just make a note and hit it in the next morning or something. Just like a quick note. It's not even a lot. It's just like a line or a word that just jogs my memory on it again. And I just pump out the video. But no, I don't plan or schedule content at all.
And it works. And then we had this comment here, which I think is interesting. Voice notes are my go-to. It's quick and much more personalized. I agree. I love voice notes. So I would say anything that's either audio or video is a step up from just sending a text or an email. So like if that's the only thing you get from this live stream, it's a game changer. If you go to a networking event, you get that business card and you plan on following up with that person, try doing it with a video or an audio note. It's going to make such a difference.
I will say to the individual who said voice notes are your go-to, if you are interested in doing more content and getting your face on camera, like I've suggested, and being top of mind, this is a great way to practice.
Yeah.
This is a great way to get used to being on camera, getting over that fear of, oh my God, I don't like being on camera. That'll go away very quickly. It's just going to be, I'm so comfortable with this. I will be in the post office. I'll be in a public area. People are always looking at me funny, like, what is he doing? I don't care where I'm at. I want to make that impact and let people know that I will stop time to get back to them. Yeah. So I would suggest you to entertain that and do understand voice notes are great, but I want you to understand that if you want to take it to the next level and you want it to be helpful for your actual video content, start sending some videos. I promise you're going to see a huge impact in that. Sure.
Well, Ben, this has been amazing. Let me share your Instagram link again. So it's Benjamin John MIC. I encourage everyone to give you a follow and check out some of your content for more examples of what we covered. Is there anything else, any other shout outs, anywhere you want people to check out to learn more about you?
I would just say follow me, guys. I'm building out some massively big things. Almost every single thing I'm doing. My daughter, we just started her business today. She's 11.
Wow.
She's got a crazy idea that with her art that nobody's doing. Me and her and my business partner that I got coming from the UK. Nobody's doing the things I'm doing. Nobody's talking about the things I'm talking about. So if you're very interested in seeing how the industry is going to change and how I'm going to do it, just follow me. My frequency, my consistency is going to validate that what I'm speaking is truth and really is the way to start doing business.
It is.
I'm so grateful to be able to help people and not want anything in return.
Yeah, and you're the real deal. I've dealt with a lot of folks, and so I have to say, I definitely vouch for what you're doing, and I've learned a lot from you, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this on a weeknight at in the evening. This has been great, and for taking the chance with us on our very first live stream. So thank you, Ben. Thank you to everyone who showed up and for everyone who's watching the recordings. If you want to see more live streams like this, make sure to follow the Port St. Lucie Business Club pages on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. Make sure to follow Ben on Instagram and give us your ideas for what topics you want us to cover in the future. We're going to be covering all different types of business topics. But yeah, thank you. And thank you, Ben, for joining us.
100%. Thanks for everybody for joining. I appreciate you, Nick. Definitely look forward to seeing you at the next event. Or not only that, sorry, I was just reading that last comment there. Anything that you're getting involved in, you already know I'm all in on that. So I definitely support what you're doing as well. Me and you are very symbiotic as far as the stuff I'm talking about. You also operate your business and your life that way too. So I see that, man, and I gravitate towards that very much. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.